I love you. Hello, and welcome back. I am the Green Traveler from Gorge.
Oh, are you? I am the Faceless Leon. I don't know, the way you said it didn't seem so sure. This is a podcast about movies and TV. I already said who I am. Thanks for tuning in, Couch Potatoes.
Thank you, guys.
We're here.
Yeah. You ready for this? You ready for this segue I got to lead us into what we're doing today?
Okay. Yeah.
So, because this is a long route, it's a little bit of a long road here. Because of your not inability to go to the theaters, but just like mild reluctance because of the worldly situation we're in right now.
Right.
It means that when I go to the theaters, we now put all that new release content into an exclusive episode available for our patrons.
That's true.
Over at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. And thanks to that, it means there's, openings in our schedule where we both get to pitch ideas, but it means I get to pitch an idea that's all for me. Like an Anya Talor-Joy spotlight. Because that's what we're doing today. We're doing an Anya Talor-Joy spotlight because she's one of my favorite actors currently.
Is it Anya or Anya?
I don't know. I always said Anya, but maybe it's Anya. I think she says Anya Talor-Joy.
Okay. I'll believe you.
We'll look it up. I don't want to do a whole episode saying it wrong.
I thought it was Anya, but, I'm not, like, a big fanboy necessarily. I do like her quite a lot. Queen's Gambit was where I hitched onto the ride, for sure.
That's fair. Sorry. I'm going to delete all of my audio during that moment because I started listening to the SNL skit. But my start with her was The Witch. Like,
oh, that's
I've
true.
loved her since The Witch.
She was great in that, but I didn't necessarily recognize her as being like,
right.
Yeah, something that stood out necessarily. She
wasn't
out
like a household name yet.
Yeah. And then I had, with the Queen's Gambit, I had 12 episodes or 8, something, and somewhere. I know that's a big range. And
well, honestly, that's some of her best work too. Like,
it's really. I mean,
good. that's where she became a household name. That's where everybody started to know who she was. I'm going to dip out for a few more seconds when we're just getting to it.
That was the longest
we're back.
Takeaway from the show we have ever had.
I went through like 5 different interviews. It was a struggle. I was trying so hard to find her name, and I found a Northman interview with Alexander Skarsgård where she says, "I am Anya Talor-Joy." So Anya. I'm sorry if I said it wrong before. I don't remember now which way I was pronouncing it, but that's the way we're going.
All right. Well, tell me about Eloise and Sandy.
My love for Anya.
Oh, yeah, you can do that too if you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cinematic crush. It really is a cinematic crush. Like, I had the same thing with Audrey Hepburn. I still do. I love Audrey Hepburn.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say.
Yeah. No, yeah. Because it was just like, I watched a movie of hers and was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love. She's a fun actor. She's very beautiful, very talented, in my opinion. I know a lot of people might say otherwise. But
with Anya or
with
Audrey?
With Audrey Hepburn.
Really?
And like I really just love her movies. I went through all of her fucking movies. It was a romantic period of just being like, I need all of this, mainly because it's just the cinematic presence she had. I just loved how she was on screen. She was so fucking great. And now it's the same thing with Anya. Ever since, I watched The Witch, watched Split, M. Night Shyamalan Split. And like ever since then, I've just been like, I really just love this actor. Like, It's amazing, and I just want to keep eating all of her films up. Like, and so last year she had a great film, Last Night in Soho. I watched it. I had some thoughts. We're gonna get into those thoughts.
Yeah.
But then she had another one this year, The Northman, from one of my favorite directors. So like that's the thing about both of these movies. I love both the directors. I love both of the, obviously I love Anya. And then I was just excited for the world of both of these because the world surrounding these stories is just fascinating. So, like, everything was supposed to be ringing for me, and we'll get into that. First, though, we're going to talk Last Night in Soho, which it's directed by Edgar Wright. I love Edgar Wright. He did Drive. He's done other stuff.
Didn't he do he worked Baby with Driver?
Oh, wait, yeah, I said Drive. It's Baby Driver, not... Yeah, you're right. It's Baby Driver. Baby Driver? That is right.
That's right, yeah. It's Baby Driver.
For some reason that title
where you
wrong.
Can get all your baby needs.
Oh, but he also worked with Simon Pegg a lot too. Like they did a lot of those comedies together. What is it? The Shaun of the Dead, something like that.
Shaun.
He did those things,
okay.
And he was supposed to do Ant-Man, but then Marvel was just like,
nah.
You know, we don't want creators to have control, and they kicked him out. There's a lot more to it than that, but it was. I remembered it very upsetting me when it happened, but
so
I also don't know all the details.
Real quick, before we get too deep into it, I did want to say, because it crossed my mind, that this is the first actor spotlight that was not suggested for the Potato Book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So thank you for the couch potatoes out there, our patrons, for coming up with the idea for us. It seemed obvious after you did so, but
right. I mean, it also opened up director spotlights and so many other things. Like, it's really cool. Thank you guys and gals.
But you didn't come up with this. You didn't suggest this. We did that.
No, this is all my demented mind. I needed this.
I don't know about demented
because I love these films. I do enjoy these films. So I'll say that up front.
They're both pretty good.
But Last Night in Soho, Edgar Wright, psychological horror. And one in which it involves a lady in her dreams going back to the 60s London. And, I love psychological horror. It's my favorite genre.
Right.
You know, I love things that fuck with the mind. It's Edgar Wright. It's Anya Talor-Joy. Thomas McKenzie is the main character. What's her name? Sandy?
Wait.
Thomas McKenzie is Ellie.
Yeah, Sandy is Anya.
Right. And, Ellie, it's very established up front that she sees the dead in some way. You know, she's in her bedroom. She's getting ready for this big move to the university, and in the mirror she sees her dead mother. And in the background you hear her grandma who's yelling for her, like, "You gotta get ready, Sandy," or whatever, because Sandy's about to make a big move to university. She's gonna study fashion. Very excited for it. But also very nervous, as it's made apparent with her mother in the mirror, because she doesn't hear her mother speak, but she just she gets confirmation from her, affirmation. It's just like she looks to her for support, and her mother is still there for her apparently, and that's not really explained. It's not really explained as to how she can see the dead, or what even her abilities are. But that's not really the importance of it, I guess.
Right. I have to be honest, on this first watch, I did not see that necessarily as an ability, that more or less that she just saw her mother as a support figure, which I feel like you could still watch this movie with that lens. And then what happens later is because that place is so wicked that she's staying.
I mean, it's spoilers, but I will add, after that, in the very finale scene, she sees her mom and somebody else. She sees another dead figure. So it's just like, it's... I don't know if it's an ability, or maybe she just now finds that dead figure as another support figure. Who knows? But I always just, the first time I watched it, I was just like, yeah, I guess she just got a talent. I don't know.
Maybe. I thought I was picking up more that it was the place rather than her, but I think it honestly makes sense. I think you are supposed to pick that up, but I certainly didn't. I think you're supposed to pick it up at the end of the movie. I think up until that point, you could think that she just has mental problems. Even the stuff that's happening to her. Like that's the whole point of the genre.
Yeah, that is the big thing too. Is her mom committed suicide because she had mental health issues, and Ellie Thomason's character is very much she's worried about that because she has anxiety herself. She has other possible mental health issues that are kind of like hinted at. Nothing's ever really like specifically laid out. That's not Edgar Wright's style. But when she goes to university, though, the people she's living with, what is it, Jocasta? Jocasta.
Yeah, Jocasta. Just Jocasta.
I don't know how you would the sin of. What is the dash? What does the slash through the O mean? Does that change the pronunciation of the O?
It probably does.
I think it's Sinov Carlson.
It might be Sinove.
Maybe.
Okay, hey, you know what? We took 20 minutes to figure out Anya.
Oh, no. But Anya's the subject. Jocasta's just a bratty sorority girl. And that really is, while you're looking up the pronunciation for that is pretty much what her character is. She is pretty much just a brat. Everything that Ellie says, she has to like one up. She's an attention seeker. Jocasta is.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and when Ellie is just trying to get to know everybody, when she's trying to start like to fit in, to like find out who she is, to come to age, she's struggling hard because she's Jocasta's being very rude, very not egocentric. I don't think that's the right word, but she's she's egocentric. Okay, good. I was just like, there's many times where my brain offers up a word, and I'm just like, I don't know about that one. I have a bad thesaurus up there in dictionary and everything. But Sinova Carlson. I do like that name. That is a great name.
Yeah.
But, so because of that, because she can't at all get along with her roommate, and she's kind of just like, fuck, I gotta get out of here. She goes and finds I think they call it a bed sit.
Did she?
I can't remember. It was like she applied for like a bed sit. I can't remember what it was. Basically, it just means she's renting out a room out of this elderly lady's upper floor, Miss Collins.
Right. Miss Collins is played by Diana Rigg, the very famous Diana Rigg from British television throughout the years. She did pass away in 2020. So right before this film was released. She was in this show called The Avengers a long time ago. I don't know what relevance it has to The Avengers. Probably none.
I don't think it has any, but I do remember my dad recommending it once.
She was in Game of Thrones, though, and played the lead of the House Tyrell, the House of Roses, or whatever.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Interesting. I never watched Game of Thrones, but I've read the book.
I know you haven't watched it. Yeah, you definitely haven't gotten to the part where she comes in the show.
Yeah, but I mean, she is in the book, so I do know precisely what character you're talking about, and she definitely seems like the very right choice for that role.
She's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, and she's pretty good in this. I mean, for the most part, she is like a in and out character. She doesn't have like a crazy amount of screen time for the first act or so. She just kind of comes in, she lays the ground rules out for Ellie. She's like, don't be bringing any men back here past 11 o'clock or whatever, be respectful, all that kind of bullshit. Right. I say bullshit. It's it makes sense. You're renting out your upper floor. You don't want loud noises and all that crap way past night. It's your house. Right.
And she also doesn't want to run, like a whorehouse.
Yeah, exactly. That's not her style, man. That's not her shtick. But on her first night there, Ellie dreams. She goes back into the 1960s and takes the place of a aspiring singer named Sandy, played by Anya Talor-Joy. And yeah, she sees the huge James Bond poster for which one was it? Was it Dr. No? I don't know which one it was.
Oh, I don't remember. It was one of the Sean Connery ones, though.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it was kind of funny. I just saw that and I was like, oh, it's topical. It fits right in. We're talking James Bond right now. It's perfect. But yeah, she watches she watches Sandy try to, achieve her career, try to become this big singer of the clubs in Soho. What is that? South London? North London? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know the London districts.
I don't know. It's in London. Yeah. We're just going to say it's in London and we'll be fine there.
Right.
I guess it is now considered the fashion district, but for a long time it was considered like the red light district.
Ooh. And that's kind of what Ellie discovers is as she dives more and more into these past memories, she starts to see...
Also, if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments.
Yeah, right? But she starts to see how horrible this industry is, not industry, but this region is to aspiring women. You know, she watches, Sandy's trying to become this great singer, but her agent, Jack, played by, was it Jack? Matt Smith. Yeah, Jack. Okay. Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Matt Smith.
She met the doctor, and that's when the adventure began.
It is, exactly.
That's how the story goes.
He is not a hero in this one. Not at all.
No, he's a bad doctor.
He's a very charming man, very, he is manipulative, but he is kind of the middleman. He becomes her pimp, so to say.
Not even sort of speak.
Yeah.
He straight up becomes her pimp. He slowly brings her... it's a pretty classic story of manipulation and, like a mix of gaslighting. And then once you get them to do it, it's like, you've already done this. If you want to keep on living here, you have to keep on doing this.
Yeah, she just gets roped in, and it's awful. It's hard to watch at times because, she's being raped just to get jobs. And it's just, that's while this is all going on, Ellie's own life is struggling because, she from that very first dream, that was a great dream. She saw a woman with high hopes, just like she did just like Ellie did coming into university. She related so much to this aspiring woman. And she loved her confidence. She loved Sandy's Sandy walked into a club and she's like, I'm going to be the next singer up there. And, you're going to help me do that. And there's this beautiful dance scene too. That's all done in camera. So in the dream scenes, Ellie is seen in the mirror. So whenever Sandy is walking by a mirror, you see Ellie in the mirror. And during that dream scene, they both start switching positions, for 1 second, Jack will be dancing with Sandy and then he'll loop her around, twirl her. And when she comes back to the camera, he's twirling, Ellie.
Eloise.
Yeah. And a lot of it's done in camera. There's only 2 switches, I think, that were done with cuts because most of it was done in one long take. And it's just you can just imagine Thomas and Mackenzie and Anya Talor-Joy just they run off camera and they run around. I think there's behind the scene footage of it too, where it's just they're running behind Matt Smith so they can enter in on the other side. It's really well done. The choreography was great for that scene. It's one of those moments. Both of these films that we're talking today had moments when I watched it in theaters and I can tell I was the only one blown away, that the rest of the audience wasn't at all impressed by what was going on. I was it was very sad. It's I don't know. I don't want to say that people don't seem like they pay attention to the art, but people don't pay attention to the art, I don't think. I think most people have become...
sometimes they just... Well, I mean, now that the theaters are so saturated with the blockbuster superhero shit, they want it to be action and flashy and not just tasteful.
Yeah, exactly. It's very upsetting. I get it. I'm definitely a blockbuster bitch. I have those moments where I just want this crazy fun action story. But I don't know. I really love that dance scene. It's so well pulled off. The director is Chung Hoon Chung. Great job. The choreography for that and for his cinematography throughout the whole movie is amazing. But I really loved it in that dance scene because it's hard to pull off a one take, and a take like that, I don't want to know how many times they had to do that. It's just crazy.
I hate to interrupt your flow, but I just found out something quite by accident. But we already talked about Diana Rigg just a couple weeks ago with Her Majesty's Secret Service. She was Teresa de Vicenzo.
Oh, she was the leader, right?
The bride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how we missed that. I think I might have said something, but I think at that time I was not quite aware that she had passed away. She is, by the way, a lady, a dame, not a lady, a dame.
She's a lady. That's why. 'Cause I'm a lady. That's why. That's the quote. I don't remember what movie that's from though.
I don't know.
So okay,
sorry to maybe.
Oh my gosh, it seems like it's a Disney anime. I can't remember. Anyways, but
is it Chicago?
I don't know. I can't remember what it's from. But Ellie, throughout the dreams, Ellie starts to relate and see herself as Sandy. You know, in real life as well. She changes her hair to match Sandy's. In her fashion class, she's designing a dress that looks like the dress she saw Sandy wear in that first dream. You know, she comes to just love this person and just relate to her in such a way that when she watches her world fall apart, it's just traumatizing. You know, not only to watch it happen, but also to just like feel like you can't achieve your own goals now, because it just starts to just wreck Sandy's world, and she starts to feel haunted by all these past memories everywhere she's going. She has a friend. What's his name? John?
Michael her boyfriend? Is that? Yeah, I think that's him. I don't have a picture here. Yes, it is. I found a picture with a lineup of the cast. Yeah, it is him.
Yeah, he's just another guy who's attending her fashion classes. And, you know, he is like a nice little tether for her, you know, because she's very anxious. She's very socially awkward. And he's just kind of like gently prodding, trying to bring her into his fold. You know, he's like, I got friends over here. We're having drinks, you know, but she doesn't understand the hints that he's kind of dropping. And I mean, she understands that he likes her, but she doesn't understand that he's trying to be like, why don't you come hang out with me and my friends? Or then he's just like, I'm going to take these back to my friends. You know,
she can't tell that he's trying to be inclusive. He also feels like an outsider, which he says, you know, I moved here too. And she said, oh, where are you from? And he said, oh, South London. So I do remember it's in North London.
There we go. We figured it out.
It's so far away.
But I love all of the setup of this movie. It's really well done. The first two acts are great. There's a lot of good horror tension moments. I love the music. Edgar Wright, the one thing he does amazingly is his music choices. Like, I mean, the score alone's great. Who did the music here? Let me pull that up real fast. Stephen Price. Great job, Stephen Price. But there's also a lot of songs that are pulled in. You know, they Edgar Wright with Baby Driver prove that he knows how to do a damn good soundtrack for a film. And he does the same thing here. He's got a lot of beautiful songs.
True.
I still listen to Anya Talor-Joy's cover of Downtown. Who did Downtown?
Interesting cover.
What was that lady's name? It's in the Petula Clark. Petula Clark. I actually have that album now that I think about it. Interesting. Huh. But yeah, I still listen to that. It's beautiful. But Edgar Wright just does a great job with the music choices. Like, everything was clicking. I was so happy with this film. And then the third act happens. And I don't want to spoil the third act, but I will say it's just like I don't know, it kind of flips everything. You know, you think you're watching one kind of film and you're just like, yep, I'm feeling everything here. And then it kind of just like churns real fast and with a great twist. Right. I do like the twist. But like,
yeah, I'm not sure if it landed right.
Yeah, it feels very weird because it kind of just like sours the whole message, right?
Yeah, like well, you know, yeah, we thought that something terrible happened, and you know, something terrible did happen, but it was just totally different than what we thought.
Yeah, exactly.
And, it just flips how you feel about a particular character that you're sympathizing with, and that, yeah. It is strange. It's a little jarring, but I still liked it. Like, I think as a whole, it's an interesting story. And I think on a second watch, knowing what is known, that I will maybe like the ending a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah, I can say having this being my second watch, I definitely liked it a whole lot better because it felt very I don't think it's giving away things. It felt very much like a Psycho kind of ending, like Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho.
Yeah.
It has that kind of feel to it. That's very, it's rooted in classic horror, and it's pretty damn well done too, I thought. But I remembered when I first watched it in the theaters, I remembered once the credits started rolling that the audience around me had a general is that really it? That's kind of bullshit. And there was a more aggravated feeling from people. I remember turning around, not seeing any smiles at all. I saw a lot of people just being like, "What the fuck?"
What did I just watch?
No, that pissed me off. God damn it! Yeah.
Let's go back home and let Jimmy out of the shed so I can beat him. That's how angry I am.
Oh Jesus! Somebody's been watching The Sandman. But that's really that's kind of my I guess the lead into my closing statement with Last Night in Soho is I love the story. I loved everything about the story. The setup was great, but it kind of gets to a point in the third act. I mean, even kind of towards the end of the second act too, where it's just kind of just a lot of long chases where Ellie's just running from these haunts, and that's just going on for quite a while. I remember she's running in modern day London. She's running in modern day London during the daytime and at night. She's running in dreams. She's running here. There's a lot of scenes. And after a while, I'm like, all right, we get it. Come on, let's get to the closer. It's I was ready for the ending, but that was more the second time I watched it. The first time I watched it, I didn't mind that stuff at all.
I did kind of feel that way. I kind of felt okay, where is this going? And then they started pulling the purse strings, and I don't know, the whole picture was just different than what I was expecting.
Yeah, and it's very jarring. That third act makes it very kind of, it definitely stayed with me. I will admit that. But
right.
I only give it 3 stars because while I love it, it's still, I don't know, that third act kind of really muddles it all for me. Even though I still like it, it just makes it a whole weirder experience than what I was expecting. And I guess to talk Anya Talor-Joy's performance, since this is her spotlight, she does a great job here. She has a lot of great moments. There's a lot of amazing things she gets to do. And she just had so much fun, I think, with this film too. She just gets to sing, she gets to dance. She gets to, go crazy.
It's a wide-ranged role. She definitely starts in one place and ends in another, which, a good arc should. But it's
right.
Because we also only see one part of it and then are told the other, to not give away anything. So it's very interesting. I think it's a good movie. I recommend it. I give it a full face. I will say I think I'd like it better on a second watch.
And I think that rings true because I liked it a whole lot more the second time around. And another thing with Anya too is I love when she realizes what kind of life she's into now. When she realizes that she's just being pimped out to a lot of people with big money who will give her small, crappy dancing jobs. She kind of just zones into the drugs. She kind of just fades away. She, everybody becomes a blur, and I love how she how she just felt so empty at during those scenes, where she just kind of seemed like she was just fading away. She was like, "Yep, this is it," and she did a great job during those scenes. It really fit the psychological horror element.
Definitely. And I really like the way that Sandy, who keeps on changing her name throughout the show, which I thought was an interesting thing.
Right.
I like how her state of mind is mirrored in Eloise. But, as it gets darker and darker, Eloise interprets it more and more about concern, about, what is going on, why this is happening in the house, and more convinced that it's not just a dream.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. So go watch it. You can stream it for free somewhere.
Jam it in your eyeballs.
Yeah, put it right into those eyeballs. And while you do that, we're gonna take a soda pop break.
Yeah. I love you.
Okay. Are you gonna come hang out with me, Garlic? Coming or going? I gotta shut the door.
And now you have a dog with you. Doo-dah, doo-dah.
We're gonna do some Viking shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah.
Doo-dah. Let's raid a nasty village and we'll plunder and we'll take.
Plunder and or take.
I know. Plunder and or plunder.
I fucking love that. We will plunder this village and or take their possessions.
Wait a second. Aren't those the same thing?
Yeah, that's definitely Eric Idle's response. Wait a second.
Wait a second. Oh man, I love. Someday we'll have to do a Monty Python thing because I just love the.
Oh yeah.
We are all different. I'm not.
No, I'm not.
We are all unique. We are all different. I'm not. Oh, what a movie! I love it so much. Anyways,
yeah, I think
we're not here to talk.
I think maybe just a threesome or even just a short playlist. I mean, there's actually I've never seen their first movie, which is pretty much just like a long episode of the show. I think.
I don't think I have either. Now that I think about it, I think I've only seen the three most talked about.
Well,
back. Oh, we'll be back. I'm keeping all that in. That's all good stuff.
Okay. So we're here and we're going to talk The Northman. Very exciting. Yay! Just came out this year. You can watch it on Peacock. Has it been? Peacock.
Put it up on your Peacock.
Has it? What did it go to theaters first, or was it straight on Peacock?
I saw it in theaters first too. I was so excited. I think I talked it on the show a way long time ago, so I'm very happy to bring it to main episode.
Well, it's fucking good. I've liked every single one of this guy's movies so much so far.
The flames on the side of my face.
The side of my face. Man, we're referencing some strange movies. Oh, dude!
What?
Nothing. I was wrong.
Were you going to say that the director's Robert Eggers, who is the director of my favorite movie still to date, The Northman, or the Lighthouse, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I did mention that it was Robert Eggers. I just said I like this guy, though, didn't I? I pulled up and I said I saw that he worked on The Telltale Heart, and I was like, what? He directed that? And then like he's doing The Telltale Heart is what I thought. But no, there was apparently a Telltale Heart in 2008. Dang
it. That would have been so fucking cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That was his next movie.
But apparently he already worked on that movie as a production designer. Anyhow,
he was working on Nosferatu, but I don't know if that's still happening. I can't remember if that was canceled or if that was changed or something. But Anya was supposed to be in that too.
Are they going to speak? Is he branching out into silent film?
Dude, I would 100% love a Robert Eggers silent film.
I think he could do it if anybody could do it, because he's willing to do the research is the thing.
But here's the problem. $90 million budget, $69 million box office. This movie was a flop. And
that sucks.
Yeah, it really does.
Well, people.
I know. People don't like art. People don't want to go out and see art. And that's what Robert Eggers puts on, is he puts on this beautiful fucking display of cinema. Like,
okay.
I want to give you the synopsis, but the opening shot is of a clear bird. Like, I feel like it was definitely on a wire or something, it's definitely like an Alfred Hitchcock-like bird.
Right.
Just like floating on the wind in the camera, and then it flies off camera, and then the camera pans and you see like all the Viking ships and everything, and it zooms in. Great fucking shot. To give him a shout out, it's Jaron Blaschke, who's been with Robert Eggers since The Witch.
With The Witch, All the Way. Okay.
And The Lighthouse, sense. I think, too.
Dude, they're you and me. That's what they are, except for better. and only made one movie that's still not done. So
it's close. I mean, it's not done. A movie.
It really is done. Well, it's a short film. Yeah. Well, nobody's paying us. I'm paying everybody, and not that much. So, after, I humbled myself by comparing myself to Robert Eggers, why did you do that to me? This other guy's name was Edgar Wright, and now we're talking about Robert Eggers.
I didn't do it to you. Anya Talor-Joy did it to you.
Okay, you're right. Okay, so this movie also does not lead Anya, but does not lead Anya, but she is a big, big part. So, this is the legend or myth of Amleth, as you told me that is based off of that. I just went and watched it blind. Anyhow, Amleth is a prince to Ethan Hawke. King Arvandil War Raven, which you earn those kind of names.
Pretty good name.
Yeah, it's a pretty good name. So he is a warrior king, wants to die in battle, like all Vikings do, and he's married to Nicole Kidman, playing Queen Gudrun, and his brother, Fjolnir, the brotherless, because he kills his brother. It's basically Hamlet, guys. Can you get it from that? Can I just
haven't you heard the story before? Haven't you heard it?
Anyways, Fjolnir was, he decided to kill his brother and take his queen and his kingdom, and in the process, Amleth was supposed to be murdered as well, but he ran away. But before all that happened, like the night before that happened, he and his father went through some secret rites, of which, I'm not a part of the religion, so I don't know the accuracy, but so far, this guy does his research, so I want to buy into everything that
right. Our dear friend Ronvald the Skald was supposed to. I'm not gonna do that to him. He's gonna watch the movie eventually. I know he will.
Right.
But I was really hoping that he would have watched it before we did this episode,
so that you would know. Yeah.
Just so I could know, just Ronvald is a historian of that culture, and if anybody could tell me how accurate this film is, it would have been him. Like, they have title cards that are in runes. I love that. That's a great aspect. So, like, I want to know how accurate it is.
He could probably have read it for us. Maybe not, in the second, if we paused it and let him.
Right.
It's not his first language. But he goes through some sort of rite as to, it seemed like a rite of passage to me.
Yeah.
Because it was all supposed to be a secret as well. And they are in there with the court fool, played by Willem Dafoe. Hymir is the character's name. But he also seems to be acting as a priest in this ceremony. Like I said, I only know this strictly from like a outsider lens, white anthropologist. I guess they're white too, but anyhow, Hymir does the during this, the king Arvandil makes Amleth promise to avenge him if he were ever to die in battle. Basically, ever. If he were to die, he must avenge him.
Yeah, basically. It's long been known that those will be my my last words if ever I die. Yeah, I intend to grab whoever's closest to me and yell at them, "Avenge me!" And then I'll just die. And that's like, I don't care what kills me. That like, I really kind of hope that I just like die in my sleep, but it like sets off like a Da Vinci Code era like esque hunt for like some massive treasure or whatever. It's like somebody's just like, his words had to have meant something. They'll go back through all my diaries.
Who poisoned my father?
They'll go back through my diary and they'll find puzzles where there aren't puzzles, but they'll be like, oh my god.
So Amleth goes off and becomes a part of another. They're more of a tribe of Vikings rather than a kingdom, and they go around and they do the Viking thing, the pillaging.
Which, by the way, during that pillaging scene, that was the moment I mentioned earlier that both films had a moment in the theater where I was just overall wowed, and clearly I was the only one that was overall wowed in the theater. During the pillaging scene for the Northman was that moment, because there's this. I mentioned it when I talked about it the first time when I saw it in the theaters way back when on the episode. But if you hadn't watched that episode, and I don't know which episode that was anymore, there's a moment where they come up over a hill. The Vikings are coming up on the wall of this village. There's fog everywhere. And, you see clearly Alexander Skarsgård, who plays the older adult Amleth.
Oh, yeah, I didn't say. I'm sorry. That's the only name I didn't mention.
And you see him in front, though. He's leading the charge. And you hear somebody on the wall spot the Vikings, and he yells. And a lance, like a big spear or whatever, just shoots out from that. The guy throws it from the wall. And in that take, in that one long shot, just as I mentioned, it was a one long take in Last Night in Soho. It's the same here with the Northman. It's just a long take. You see the guy throw the spear. Alexander Skarsgård steps up, grabs the spear, turns around and hucks it right back and hits the guy in the chest. And it was fucking incredible. I literally in the theaters was like, holy shit. And everybody else was just
else was just
crickets.
Calm down, dude. Jeez.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck, dude? It was just, that wasn't even anything like the Transformers movies. Like, God.
He didn't do anything that a human couldn't.
That CGI was just shit.
Oh, shit. So,
and I 100% do not think there was any CGI in that scene. I think they literally,
well, the horses. I think the horses were CGI'd. But they were good.
Really good prosthetic. Not prosthetic, but
costumes?
Yeah, well, not costumes, but like they were probably really good
animatronics?
No, like, because you're talking about the beheaded horse, right? Or which one?
No. In the village, in the pillage scene, there's horses running around, and I swear they cut at the horse's legs. I might be thinking of Game of Thrones.
Well, I mean, no, they do cut at it, but like they don't show blood or anything. Like it's probably just like a wooden sword, and it's a trained horse to fall over.
I remember horses tripping, like rolling over their riders and stuff, and they wouldn't do that.
Gotcha.
That was CG.
Probably not. Who knows? Yeah.
But
the spear scene, though, the spear shot was. I don't think there was any CGI in that shot at all.
I don't think so. But
maybe I'm wrong.
The only other character that I did not name the actor was for Folmir, the Brotherless, and I think his name is pronounced Claes or Cleese. The Claes. I mean, we looked up everybody else's name this episode, so might as well do one more.
I've got no fight in this match. That's not the right phrase at all. Got no blood in this fight?
In this match. What did you say earlier? Pillage and take their things.
Pillage and or take.
Pillage and or take.
I just got off of work. I'm tired. I've been brain dead since 1:00. Leave me alone, guys. We do this for fun.
It's Claes. I got it right the first pair of my guesses. Anyhow, Amleth becomes a part of this new tribe, right? And while they're out on mission, I'm pretty sure this wasn't explicitly said. I'm pretty sure he became a berserker for them. And a berserker in that culture, and like I said, I don't know fucking everything, but is a great warrior that runs into battle with minimal armor and just does as much damage as they can.
Yeah,
it's almost a suicide warrior, except for they send them out in a pack. Usually they get shit done.
And in a scene like just before the pillaging scene, or maybe it's like right after, they have like this dance around a fire, and they all call upon like animals or whatever, like to inhabit them.
Wolves,
and
I think
he specifically took a wolf. I think others took bears, and I
thought
think there
they
was
were
some
all
other
wearing
of that.
wolf skins, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I can't remember any either. But I know he specifically takes the wolf. Maybe everybody else does too. But that is a big part of his fighting too. Is like he there's a moment in that pillaging scene where he kills a guy, and then like in the aftermath of it, while he's like just drenched in this guy's blood, he just like howls like crazy. Right. And I'm just like, oh my god! Imagine being one of those villagers and just like you see that, piss my pants immediately.
Right. So after they wreck the village, they round everybody up, and he hears that some of the people were meant to go to Iceland to be the slaves of Fjolnir the Brotherless. And so Amleth comes up to them and asks them about this. It's like, I only know of one Fjolnir, and he's king of this land. He said, not anymore. The Nords, not the Nords, the Normans took that over. So he finds out that these slaves are going to his uncle in Iceland, right? And then he kills one of them and disguises himself as them, because they all wear similar clothes, because they, I would guess, were all from the same village. And among them, when he gets taken away with them, is Anya Talor-Joy, Olga of the Birch Forest. And yes. And she is, very, very beautiful, extremely platinum blonde hair. He says you look. Somebody says you look like a Valkyrie, and that's a big part of her whole goddamn thing.
And he's instantly taken with her too. Amleth is
definitely, absolutely, 100%. And so, on their travel there, they start to not necessarily plot together, but say how they're going to survive being slaves. Like, she for one is like, I know how to mess with them with my mind. And he's like, and I'm a strong warrior. They're not going to make me do anything I don't want to do. And I think in that moment, he also reveals his intentions to kill.
I think so too. Yeah, eventually at least he does.
And I think that might be enough for a synopsis for now, because I do want people to watch this movie. And like I said, it does kind of play out like Hamlet, except for Olga and Amleth do get married and conceive. I'll say that.
Oh my.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, and I really... I really enjoy it all. Like, I enjoy the mental play on Amleth, how he wants revenge. That's who he is for most of this film. But then once he meets Olga, things kind of change. He has another door open to him. And I enjoy how that plays out in his mind, how it torments him, how he wants to accomplish and get revenge for his father, but at the same time, he can also just be a dad.
Yeah.
And he's I like it. I like it a lot. I love the story. It's really fascinating. Alexander Skarsgård as Amleth is fucking incredible. Like, I love watching him in this movie. He's just he goes so far out for it.
Yeah, he is really great. But the thing is, it's like, you say this about other actors, and he's probably, well, I don't remember his really thin brother. He was in The Devil All the Time, or whatever that movie was.
The guy who plays Pennywise?
No, that's Bill Skarsgård, right? I think this is a different guy too, though. Oh, let's look this up too. Look up everything else.
It's the most lucky uppy episode. Walter Skarsgård? Gustav?
It might be Walter.
You said The Devil All the Time?
Yeah.
The Tom Holland, right?
Yeah. No, it is Bill. You're right. It was Bill.
It was Pennywise.
Okay. It was Pennywise. Anyhow, yeah, so he can be more of anybody. But to me, so far, Alexander Skarsgård is Alexander Skarsgård. And it might be because of that chest and his arms.
Yeah, dude's ripped like crazy, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, it's kind of hard to not see him. It's kind of like Chris Hemsworth. Like,
that's fair. I totally see this crazy wild Northman. Like, I don't, you know, I mean,
he
it's Alexander Skarsgård.
Inhabits the character. Okay, this is a better comparison. Ethan Hawke. Whoever he plays, he's always Ethan Hawke, but he's also that motherfucker that he's playing.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, it's a good performance. I am not saying anything against his performance. I'm just saying I always see him. Like, it's, I mean, also the last thing I really recall seeing him was in Tarzan. So
right, that's what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say, like, I can't see anybody but Tarzan. I was like, what? No.
No, it's just the last thing I saw.
You do get to see Alexander Skarsgård in just as much clothing as you would in Tarzan.
This is true. Yes.
Fairly unclothed throughout most of the film.
And that last battle that they had was so cool. But we should probably talk more about Anya Talor-Joy.
We should indeed. Yeah, she's constantly described, and I think they use it more of like as an insult. I can't remember if she uses it, but I remember they called her like a Slavic witch. Like one person does at least. And I mean they do show a little bit of that. They never really imply that she really does have like magic abilities or any kind of thing like that, but she does brew a potion or a tonic toxin or whatever that kills some of the guards. You know, and she has that moment at the end where she calls upon the gods, and I love that performance when she's on the boat and she's just like kind of going mad a little bit because of what just happened. It's such a good really moment.
Good. Yeah, that one's hard to talk about because I don't want to give away everything in the movie. Right. But I kind of, to talk about her, want to talk about Amleth's visions a little bit. Mm-hmm. So the main one is the tree of kings, and he, at one point after she's pregnant, which I've already mentioned, he kisses her and sees the tree again, and sees their kids, and you know they have her white hair, and that's cool too. But there's this third vision smack dab in the middle of the movie where I don't remember what exactly happened to Amleth in that battle that he almost died in, but she, in his vision, is a Valkyrie, is that played by Anya? It looks like her, so. But it doesn't also look like her. Well, anyways,
it's Inetta Sluzate.
I think it's very much supposed to look like her, but they've already compared her to a Valkyrie. But anyhow, so this is what he holds her as, like, in his eyes. She is this creature that will carry him away to heaven if he dies.
Valhalla. Yeah.
Yeah. To Valhalla. Yeah, they call it Valhalla.
Most certainly more accurate.
Yeah.
This is why Professor Ronvald the Skald, if you ever listen to this is why we need you, brother.
This is why we need you. We're really just trying to rope our third best friend to just be this show with us.
He doesn't have the free time.
He doesn't.
But no, I loved so much. Yeah. I was just wrapping up too. We had the same mind.
Cool.
Yeah, I love everything about this movie. Like it's Robert Eggers, but for an action adventure as opposed to a horror.
Yes.
Which I was kind of worried about going in when I watched this in theaters. I was just like, oh man, I hope this holds up to it's not going to beat The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse still reigns as my favorite film right now. Like nothing's topped it. I still enjoy the fuck out of that weird masterpiece. But his style translates so fucking well to an action adventure. I mean, he's always done historical timepieces or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I guess period.
Period piece, thank you. I couldn't remember period. I was just like historical. That's it. But I really enjoyed his depth, his research into this story, into this time. You know, I'm sure it's accurate. Maybe I'll eat my words. Who knows? I doubt it.
Who knows?
But, like, it's fucking great. I enjoy it a lot. I love the acting. I love the bleakness. But it doesn't, you know, it's not perfect. There are some, like, moments where I'm just a little bit like, hey, okay, let's go. And for that, I'll just give it a 3.5 stars. It's not as easily returnable as The Witch or The Lighthouse, but I still fucking love it. And Anya is great in it. Anya's beautiful.
I fucking loved it, man. And I don't know. On my first watch, I think it has more rewatchability than those other ones did on my first watch. So The Vitch was so hard to understand the first time around that it was kind of like, I don't know that I necessarily want to come back to this. Now that I have again and again, and I've said this before on the show, it's one of my favorite movies. The language is beautiful, but that's why it's a difficult movie to watch.
Right.
In The Lighthouse, it almost has that feel, but it's more about the symbolism that you can't catch everything the first watch. So I do want to go back to that movie because I want to catch more of it. But this one, like you said, has more of that classical action adventure feel. I mean, you know, it's a fucking myth put into a movie. It's for that reason, it's right up my alley. But also, I don't know. I just feel like I can tell you better what happened point A, B, and C in this movie than the other two. And I've watched those other two a lot. Yeah, way to go to rip off the story. No, actually, Willie Shakes. You think Willie Shakes did?
Well, I mean, this was.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
The Legend of Amleth was published in the 12th century.
So, yep, that was before Willie Shakes' birthday. So,
completed at the beginning of the 13th century, but I still think that's before because he was 15th
it's way
century,
before.
Right?
He was in the 17th, the 1600s.
Oh, he's 1600. Shit, I thought he was 1400 for some reason.
No, he was. They already had discovered America.
My God.
Yeah.
My baby, sweet Jesus.
Well, I mean, you know, it was already discovered if you lived here.
But who wins the Anya Talor-Joy spotlight?
Did I say that this movie was a face and a half? Because that's how I feel about it.
I don't know if you did, but there it is.
There it is. Drop the mic.
As has been the case in the past with a lot of these spotlights, the movie that I think is the better film is not the winner of the actor spotlight, I don't think. Because even though I love Anya Talor-Joy's performance... I
totally agree with you. You didn't even have to say which one you said. Well, honestly, from context clues, we gave the movie's ratings, so can the audience.
Right. Last Night in Soho, she gets to do so much more. She gets to have, there's just a lot more with that character. There is a lot to the Northman's character. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of depth and a lot of beauty. Mm-hmm. The chemistry with her and Alexander Skarsgård is phenomenal. They both did so well there. And I love that movie more. I do say if this was between the movies, Northman would win, easily. But her performance in Last Night is just so nice.
It's really good. Like I said, there's a lot of range in it. You get to see like all the facets of that character's mind, and she's not the main character. But I heard this term just recently, the plum roll. If you don't get the plum roll, then you have to make it yourself, is the phrase that I heard. And it's an old Hollywood phrase, I guess. And she was not the main character, but that definitely was the best role in the movie.
Don't get me wrong, Thomason did a great job too.
She did, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's just Anya stole the show. That's all there is to it. I think that, like you said, the chemistry between the two and the Northmen, I mean, that's just what you get when you put two immensely talented people together and then have a very good director.
Right. I mean, that's true. That's the truth right there. I mean, I've also just watched a lot of interviews with the two of them, and they just seem like they're really good, close friends. Like they're like brother and sister almost. It's like, it's really nice. That might not be the right metaphor I want to make given their situation in this movie, but
that's funny. Oh man.
Oh well, that is this show. That's who we are.
You're right. That is almost the show. I just want to say one more thing about Olga, that she is a very strong character. I have nothing wrong with this character's very good role. It just didn't outshine the movie like Sandy did. So there it is. And I can't even remember Sandy's name. she's just Anya Talor-Joy. Okay, we can end the show now.
Okie dokie. I've been the Green Traveler from Gorsh. Thanks for listening.
And I am the Faceless Leon. Safe travels and good riddance. Good night. Oh, God. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.